Welcome to Age Like an Amazon. Now, you're probably thinking, what does she mean? Well, I was reading something about the Wonder Woman comics, and it was talking about Wonder Woman Diana Prince, and said that when she got to a certain age, her prime, she became ageless and her aging really slowed down. And the reality is we can all do that if we want to. And it's not because of some magic that's, sprinkled on us from goddesses from above. It's from our cells. So here's a tiny little bit of science. I don't want to sort of bore you with it. So basically, we have a genetic blueprint when we're born, and a lot of people a lot of people think now, and everyone used to think a while back, that genetic blueprint was set in stone, and that's what determined our life, how healthy we're going to be, our lifespan. But we now know that it's not about that genetic blueprint at all. It's about the individual genes and how they're operating. So it doesn't matter if the gene looks like that. What matters is it on or off, upregulated or downregulated. That's the thumb being up, the thumb being down. And so studies have shown that certain clusters of genes, not every single gene changes with aging, but certain clusters of genes change how they express themselves over time. And you can imagine this, if you think about it, that the collagen producing genes and the elastin producing genes that give you really plump, smooth skin are really upregulated when you're young. And as you get older, they downregulate. And so that means less collagen, less elastin, more lines, more sagging. Equally, the genes that make melanin, which gives you pigmentation, it's sort of downregulated when you're young, and as you get older, they upregulate, so you get more age spots, sunspots, age spots, whatever you want to call them, but more pigmentation. So you can sort of see how it happens, and you're like, okay, well, that's what happens, that's age. But here's the cool thing, you can switch the genes around. You can switch a gene on or reset a gene that's downregulated and make it upregulate, and equally a gene that's upregulated downregulate. So you can play around if you know how, and there's a lot of science about how you can do that. And so that's what I'm going to bring you in Age Like an Amazon, how you can, one, reset your genes, and the other thing is increase the length of the telomeres. And I'm just going to give you a tiny little bit on telomeres. At the end of each of our chromosomes, it looks a bit like this, there's a tiny little cap, a little bit like the plastic cap on the end of shoelaces that stops them unraveling. Well, there's this little cap on the end of the chromosomes to stop the DNA unraveling. And every time the cells divide, which is how we create new cells, because none of us is as old as we are. None of my cells are 62 years old. So, my skin cells are no older than a month old. So we're always creating new cells. So you think, well, we could do that forever, except that the telomeres, when they get to, they shorten each time the cells divide, and when they get to a certain shortness, cells can't divide anymore, and that's kaput for those cells. And as different cell lines in the body get to kaput, they set up inflammatory reactions that involve the immune system, the inflammation system, and that all leads to aging. But we can increase the length of the telomeres. You can slow down that process. So again, we have so much in our toolbox that we can, slow down the signs of aging, and that's what Age Like an Amazon is all about.